We just bite their heads off and make a pile of bodies, a pile of heads. It's like, why would I want to do that? It's pile of bodies, pile of heads.
Like, what?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Wildly uninteresting podcast.
Podcast.
Rape.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for that one.
Episode
You did it.
102. Just the three of us this week. Welcome back to the show. For those of you who join us every week, we appreciate it
Hey, guys.
wholeheartedly. For all those that don't watch, well, we don't really give a
fuck
shit.
Sounded like you said, "Hey, Cass."
Hey,
Cass.
Cass.
Hey, Cats.
Also.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, cats.
Tell Jack we said hi.
Yeah. Oh.
No, welcome back to the show. Before we were talking about Bitcoin. You were talking about it mostly, I will say. But I had something to
mentioned
say
it,
about
yeah.
it too. So check this out. Before I even talked to a buddy of mine, I was just like, I had the thought in my head, right? Because you have like Bitcoin ATMs showing up in gas stations and shit like that.
Right.
So my thought was, well, if they have ATMs for it, because people are like, I put my money in there because it's not controlled by a big bank. There's no tracking on my money. I can use it and, you know, the government doesn't watch. And I always thought that I was like, there has to be somebody somewhere controlling these transactions, these Bitcoins, these whatever, which I know that like they mine for it and they house it somewhere and you have a certain number, you lose that number, the money's gone, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But there has to be somebody that has their hand in it somewhere that let it happen. You know what I mean? So what I was thinking was that like there was a controlling force, the government.
Right, yeah.
Well, now there's a conspiracy theory
Yeah.
that says that the CIA controls Bitcoin.
I thought you were going to go with the one to say that China is trying to weaponize it.
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
There's another one. I'm totally down to hear the other one.
That's
If
it.
you want to go ahead and tell me. Oh, that was it. There's no backup to that.
There's not
No.
a lot of information.
No.
Yeah.
But because if you see, like, in the last year, there's been last year, like, before this last year, you didn't really hear a lot of, I mean, people like to buy into crypto and shit, and it was gaining recognition
Yeah.
because it has since, 2011, 2012, I think. So anyways,
It's been a minute. Yeah.
the last year, dude, like, it has just skyrocketed for some reason. And it continues to a little bit, but it makes you wonder just a little bit, like, is there somebody behind all this? It's just like, you know, it's you perceive that it's secure, but are you at those locations, the places where they host all that shit or they mine or whatever, they keep all the data and stuff? We're not there. We don't know, you know, who's behind all
I mean,
that.
based on my understanding of it, they have it where, like the long, I guess, blockchains is what they're on about.
Mm-hmm.
Is, you know, that prevents reusing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's safe in that sense. But
Right.
yeah,
But that's what, I
But,
mean,
it is like a hacker game.
Right.
So, but with the amount of time it takes, I think, to mine all the stuff, like to really get the stuff in less than savory means, I don't think it would really be worth your time.
right.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that lives and operates in outer space, right?
What?
And this gentleman also shops on the dark web.
Oh, talk
let's
more
just
about
say-
this gentleman.
This gentleman, this is what he does,
Will you turn my headphones down a little more?
This is what this
what they
space
do.
bloke does.
right? So
Sounds like Dr. Sex Woods over here.
somebody goes on to the dark web and then they use Bitcoin or what'd you call it? Dogecoin?
Dogecoin.
Doge. Okay.
It might be pronounced Doge, but I say
forget.
Doge.
Yeah.
It's like dog with an E, so it's like
I
a
thought
long
it-
O. Doge.
When
Hey,
it first
Doge.
came out, I thought it was doggy corn, to be honest with you. But so
The most mysterious of the cryptos.
he operates on the
'Cause it's
dark
got a
web a
stupid
little bit
name.
and does all that shit. And you load up the Bitcoin on there. But the sad part about this is if that server decides to shut down, the person selling said goods on certain website that you go onto and you loaded all that up.
Right.
When they drop the server, bye-bye to all your money. Like there was no backup plan to that. Like whatever you had loaded onto this website,
Right.
just gets taken. There's no backup. There's no, and let's just say
Let's say it.
a solar flare happens. I'm not one of those
Jesus
people.
Christ.
I'm not one of those people. I'm just
Bitch,
saying.
don't act like it can't happen.
Let's say this
No, it can,
massive,
but it's like the whole Y2K thing.
right.
Oh, solar flare means the end of the technology.
But it's not. It's technically, it's technically not. But even if you go as far as say, if another country attacks us digitally, or
That's a
with
lot more reasonable.
electromagnetic discharge, what is that called? It's a weapon. EMG maybe, I don't know, where they shoot an electrical charge at a certain city and it shuts down.
EMP.
EMP. There you go. Thank you. EMP. Electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Cool. Back on track. So say something like that happens, right? And they target a huge server deal that houses all those numbers. That has all those numbers within their servers and their hosting, whatever. I don't know how it works. I know people mine, there's blockchain, all that. I just don't understand it really.
Right.
There's letters and numbers and then you have money.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway,
it's like the real world.
let's say all that shuts down. Technically, there's no backup for it. There is no insurance for it. There's no nothing.
That's true.
So what happens when all that goes down? And I know people can say the same thing about the dollar, which the dollar eventually nobody will give a shit about.
Right.
But then if that goes away, then who says there's value in Bitcoin? Because it was bought with money.
Yeah.
I mean, elaborate here, man. You need help? Help me out.
I don't know. I just assumed it would be fine.
Oh.
I think it's like worst case scenario happens. It's like then everybody's pissed and they're out some money. But the people that fully own Bitcoin, it's like fuck them.
Yeah.
For a single Bitcoin, it's like $50,000. So I mean, if you got the kind of money to throw that at it, then
a whole Bitcoin.
yeah.
So
'Cause
okay,
I deal in
shop-
percentages of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking.
It's
When you go
nuts.
shopping for something, mostly on the dark web. There's not a lot of normal websites, on the internet that take Bitcoin. I'm sure there's some do. But
Tesla.
it's mostly
Of course.
to do
Tesla
with
does.
a percentage of one Bitcoin because they're so fucking high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, think about this though. If you I'm completely cool with the creators of Bitcoin and shit, coming out with this thing, creating value on it, just like, the government did with the dollar. And was look at this valuable thing that technically is non-existent and we don't know what it is really. And then they they jack up the price on it. Then the dude gets out of it and makes billions off of it for what? He's like, I just sold numbers on a screen. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess that's what they're doing now with our banks and everything's digital anyways.
Yeah. At least they print the dollars off on some pants paper.
Some pants, paper, some denim, some fine denims, hemp denims.
Hey, get your denim dollars down here.
You could have folded a million times and it'll never rip.
Fierce Gary's in Tennessee.
Oh, I was thinking Dan's.
My thing is though,
Sticking with the alliteration.
what about because the person I was talking to about it brought up the fact that he was buying this silver and gold, and I was like, okay, but who's to say that has any value once everything goes under? Let's say everything drops off and goes under. What would make silver and gold valuable? And I know that one's an amazing conductor. The others, I mean, they're precious metals that are very valuable. I get that. They're valuable in a real sense in the real world, and they're very usable. But when it comes down to it, when nothing else has value and everybody's fucking killing each other and raping people and crops are being stolen, lights are off,
So, like real life now.
Motherfuckers out there taking wagons of corn.
So when that happens, technically, you're really gonna have to protect the shit out of your silver and gold while that raping and pillaging is going on.
I think once that happens,
Power outages.
you're pretty much gonna have to turn to
Power
goods and
outages.
services.
Yeah,
You can't make stuff, or you're just gonna be in the pillaging industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not gonna be a whole lot of protection for the pillagers.
No.
You're for sure going to be a pillager. Yeah.
And I'll be the insurance provider
I'm
for
coming
pillaging.
for all of you.
Like, for all of your pillaging insurance needs.
Like I'm only
Asheville.
starting to understand like Bitcoin shit.
Yeah, it makes. I mean, it doesn't not make sense to me, but I couldn't. That's why I haven't said anything. I can't have a conversation about it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they're finally trying to get it to where it's closer to being green, like in the sense that it's not raping the environment.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
It's like in order for people to mine the Bitcoin, like it takes so much fucking energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
it's just detrimental as shit. But
Yeah.
you know, they're trying to work it out.
So we watched a
Get
thing
your
about
digital money.
a guy that was mining and the amount of servers in this fucking warehouse, dude. I was like, you would need a nuclear reactor next to the building if you grow anymore. You know what I mean? I was like, you're going way out of the realm of, and I mean, I get it. That's fine. Like whatever we have to do. But how about you figure out this energy crisis first?
Right.
And let's not worry about how we're going to trade a fake dollar, like, or a fake valuable whatever.
Yeah.
Like
You're-
that's,
Definitely your priorities are a little fucked up.
yeah. Because when it comes down to it, you're right. Like we should trade goods and services instead of like money, monetary valuable things. I don't know. how to-
Monetarily valuable.
valuable things.
There
There,
we
you
go.
go. Like that, right? Okay, so if we went back to that, where goods and services, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I'll build you a house if you put AC in mine, and then I'll give you some bread though if you like, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And I'll trade you like wooden nickels if
You
you
got
have
some
sex with me.
flip-flops.
You know what I mean? Goods and services.
Fuck me for them nickels.
But that's what I'm trying to get at is the fact that like technically none of this stuff has any value. And
Hang on.
Bitcoin, they're like, we're going against the grain and we're the new thing.
I'm gonna pull a Dr. Sex Woods and I'm gonna put something in perspective for you.
Oh,
There's this company, Riot Blockchain, like they mine Bitcoin,
yeah.
and they announced a milestone purchase for $138.5 million worth of mining equipment.
Jesus.
You can make so much goddamn money in Bitcoin.
No, I know, but
That is nuts.
but that's what I'm saying though. You can make all the value in this certain thing as much as you want, but when the bottom drops off,
Inevitably.
motherfucker, I can't talk
Yeah,
today.
man.
Inevitably,
Yeah.
the hell? Maybe I should just slow down a bit. Fuck that.
Well, you look good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That was a ploy to get me to shut the fuck up, wasn't it? Just shut the fuck up.
Ploy to
You're
get
not-
you to turn my headphones down a little
You're not
more.
smart enough to pick up on it. Think what you want.
But when it comes down to it, when the shit hits the fan, the world starts burning.
Right.
Right. There's gonna be no value in anything. There's gonna be no value in it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no energy to run that fucking piece of equipment that holds the numbers because there's nothing anymore. The world's burning.
So
Like,
what
are
you're
you gonna
saying is get all your money out of Bitcoin before the end, and then you'll have worthless money instead of digital currency.
do? Yeah. That you could start a
Or-
fire with to heat your home because that's all it's going to be good with.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's always going to be good.
Ooh. Okay. So maybe put that money in a mattress.
Yeah, but
Is that where that ends?
That's it.
but that,
And
We're
then if
still
I say
back
as
in the
little
beginning,
as
though.
possible, let's see what happens.
but that's I think it would be awesome if like Bitcoin was just this new revolution and blah blah blah. But Bitcoin still operates within the realms of capitalism, right? So I trade you Bitcoin, you give me this thing that's worth how many ever percentage of Bitcoin, and I'm like, cool, I got this product and whatever. Like, I mean, it still operates within the realm of capitalism. I think we have to shut capitalism down and then create something outside of that. Goods and services, like you said.
I no longer agree with that idea. I say we keep capitalism going, and then we just learn to manipulate it for our own ends. Instead of trying to tear down an institute, let's just make it work for us.
Yeah. Apparently that's what you had to do anyway.
I think they've been
Yeah.
saying that for like 100 years, though, at this point. Like, let's make capitalism work
And
for
look
us.
how
Let's
rich
let's vote again.
the best ones are.
Yeah. Some people
that-
have definitely figured it out.
Well, no, and I mean it works for them, but you have a set group of people that are at the top, and there's no way to reach them. They can even They can even.
I mean, that's only kind of true.
It's super true.
Well, I mean, look at the idea of like with Reddit. Whenever they did the whole GameStop AMC thing,
That was
they
a
fucked
fluke.
an assload of people. But it shows that it can be done.
Oh yeah, it definitely can.
So I mean, you can't say that they're untouchable or whatever. It's just we'd have to have that happening on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, and you have to like really coordinate with your fellow man at the bottom or woman. Man is in human.
It's also
beings.
my understanding that the market itself is changing, and like the safe bets of the past are kind of going by the wayside.
Yeah.
So like anybody that invests in a classical way, I guess we'll say, they're starting to lose money. And I mean, there's still safety and shit. Like Warren Buffett still knows what the hell he's doing. But
I think he'll just survive the rest of the time. He's pretty good at everything he does. But I mean, I think that goes into taking safe bets. I'm sure, statistically speaking, they didn't really count on Warren Buffett being a person, because he came from humble beginnings, where most people come from a family that you're well off. You're born in the U.S. You have a bunch of wins on your side. You were probably white and you were probably male, and then they get up to the top. Just generally speaking, I'm not
because
saying
only
anything
white
worse
males
for it.
read about the market.
No, I'm just saying I'm not.
Yes.
No, I mean I think that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm-
Otherwise, there wouldn't be people bitching about it. They're like, "Oh, look at this black woman or this Mexican trans."
it would just be,
Yeah.
it'd be fine. But no, you're completely right. It's those luck things, especially from the 20th century, from 1900 to all the way to now. I mean, it's just vastly, that's what has succeeded. And if you were born into that, which is all luck, don't let people most of the statistics will tell you that shit isn't because they really worked hard to get to where they're at.
No.
Mostly they can do statistically, like your age of your parents, how much they made, what part of the country you were born in, was it U.S., whether you're going to succeed or
Although,
fail.
I mean, I can't say for certain, but I would guess that the people that come from like well-to-do families and have a buttload of money and stuff, not to say that they've worked harder than everyone, but I mean, they have gone to better schools. Mm-hmm. And they've grown up around people that have a higher base level work ethic than the common man.
Yeah.
So they probably have busted ass, just a little with a little more cushion.
Right. I guess they had something to fall back on in case something went wrong.
I mean, there are trust fund fucks, that just need to get cut down. But, so there's a healthy amount of people that do plenty of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just think it's crap to just like discount someone because they came from a well-to-do family. That doesn't mean that they haven't worked their ass off and deserve the credit that they've, I guess, put forth.
It probably, I think, what were we talking about earlier when we were like, people put things in their path that way when they do fail, they're like, it's because of that. I forgot what we called that or what we were looking up, but it's the same thing. Like if I gotta work super hard, right? And people are like, look at this dude, he made it from like the very bottom and came up to the top. Well, that guy, when he falls short in whatever business he's doing, is going to look across the table at the guy that beat him, and he's like, oh, it's because he came from a well-to-do family.
Exactly.
He's connected.
Yeah, whatever I can use as an excuse.
Yeah. It makes me feel better. It gives me an excuse. I feel like I'm doing something. You know what I mean?
It's not
We were
because
just
I was
talking-
inept. I didn't make a mistake. It's just this guy was connected. He didn't have to work for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Lazy fuckers.
That's
The crybabies, not the rich people.
Yeah.
no, and I don't hate on that one bit. I understand, like, if they put the work in, they made a product, they got to the top, whatever. I'm completely whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. I don't really want $1 billion. I don't care about all that, right?
Right?
But
it would be nice.
it would be nice. You know what I mean? It's all. I mean, the comfort of it. I mean, $500,000 would be comfort enough. I mean, $1 million flat would be comfort enough.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you knew what to do with it and you knew how to work it, you'd never have to worry ever again. Working on the pole. But yeah, with the Bitcoin and stuff, man, with the cryptocurrency, I think it's just so. it's a dangerous game. But I also don't agree with banks. So I'm one of those people that I would hide it in my mattress. Because of how the ruled. Like, I think that the banks that failed in 2008, 2009, they should have never been brought back to life. In capitalism, that is the name of the game. The company that loses. There's no bailing you out. They don't bail out every taco stand that goes out of business because their tacos are shit, do they? No. Same goes, they were too big to fail is the reason behind it. No, they weren't. It's just they controlled most of our debt in America, so we couldn't let that happen.
I'm thinking the idea of like
put them out of business. I don't know the whole stance.
I don't really know what people mean exactly when they say that a company's too big to fail. I don't think it means that like they're too big to make mistakes or anything. I think it means that they're too important to the fabric of society. Yeah. Where it's like, if they fall apart, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And we're not ready to fuck with that kind of uncertainty. So here, you guys just stay where you are. It's like putting you guys on life support, you know? You're too big to die. You can die, but I'm not ready for it.
Not ready.
So let's just go ahead and get you on some shit.
No, I think you're right. When they say too big to fail, it's not that the company is too large to fail. I think you're right. We wouldn't know what to fucking do if almost all banks except for Chase went out of business. We'd be lost. But maybe that's
Just
what we
bank
need.
at Chase.
Yeah, everybody has to kneel to one provider, but I think that goes back towards all the other shit that's going wrong right now as far as agriculture and the food industry and the energy, whatever you want to call it, sector of whatever, I don't know.
Sector.
And all the other things that are pretty much showing their hand at the moment, and they're ruining us. Climate change. Everything pretty much leads back towards like a profit margin capitalist society where we only care about gains.
Well, the idea of climate change and stuff kind of ties into the Egyptian crap I've been working on, Mm-hmm. They said like every 26,000 years there's like the cycle of Earth's position relative to the stars, we'll say. Yeah. And they have the idea that the Sphinx, like its gaze is, I think it resets maybe in Leo? Mm-hmm. I forget. Either way, but every 26,000 years it does its shit, and then like they had knowledge of the like the weather cycles, I guess, or the climate cycles of Earth, mm-hmm. and all the crap is like relating to that. So it's like with the idea where you were talking earlier, where Egypt once had like palm trees and like cool shit going on.
Yeah, they're desolate.
What the hell they were talking about? So yeah. I mean, it seems like if that stuff's true.
I think it is. We go through cycles of rebirth. Is kind of what the ideal is. So cycles of death where pretty much all of humanity dies off on the planet, and then we have to reset, right? And they say there's been 4 already, and we're at the end of the 5th one. So any time now it could happen. Nobody knows. I mean, everybody banks on it being climate change and all that. But I think it's going to be very slow. And the sad part about it is your government's, like you just said, like, don't overhaul a whole system. Well, we're at a point where that's why they just continue on the same track, like business as usual, because they're like, well, it would just be too hard to fucking like turn this ship around. In reality, it would be uncomfortable. It is not going to be as uncomfortable when you're forced to do it, when all the sea levels rise and the world's burning and all these tornadoes are happening, earthquakes. Volcanoes are erupting and stuff. It's going to be super hard then to turn this ship around. True. So I think they're like, we know it's coming, so why even try it? Like, we're just, let's just ride it till the wheels fall off, maybe.
I think if they started telling people that it was going to happen and trying to change it at like a normal pace, then you're going to have the people that are going to panic.
And fall apart, yeah.
Yeah, and then the people that are going to panic, they're going to turn to violence.
Yeah, why is that always a go-to?
But when you tell them, if you panic, you just get a bullet in the head. Done. You don't have to worry about the violence.
They just have guns in
We got
glass
it
cases
first.
that say, in case somebody freaks out, bust this glass.
This is what you need to do, okay?
Shows you instructions to blow their head off. Damn.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
with
I
so
totally
many
get it.
so many stupid people.
I'm so with
Yeah.
you.
It's hard to turn the ship around whenever
Yeah.
over half your capacity is just fucking retarded.
Yeah. Well over half, right?
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, just driving down the highway the other day, because I get lost in thought, man. A guy went around like 4 cars in the emergency lane, like very unruly, like just flooring it down
It's
the
hard to
emergency
do
lane.
that in a ruly way.
There was a guy next to me that was like
Excuse me?
looking around in his
Excuse me?
car, clearly high out of his mind, throwing trash out the window. The people, I mean, just everybody, and it dawned on me. I'm like, there's a reason why like the bad always prevails, because it's prevalent. Like, I know those two things are like, that just makes sense. It's so overwhelmingly on the other side that the people, like, we wouldn't go out of our way to do it. Like, I go out of my way to pick up trash or something when I feel like we've been, my neighborhood's been wronged or whatever. We'll pick it up. And we try to do like little good things, right? But in general, like, I mean, we could drop everything we do and go just do good things for people. But we don't, right? So I'm not going to say that we're any better than anybody else. But I am going to say that there's a vast majority of people that are not willing to do it. If the government came to me and was like, hey, this is what we're going to need to change, I think me and Sarah could look at each other and be like, look, it's gonna suck, but we're going to have to do it. These other people, on the other hand, will be like, I'm not going to wear your mask. You can't. This is my body.
Right.
You're not going to tell me what I can. This is my house, my property. This is my America. You're America. You know what I mean? It's going to. I don't know. I don't know if that depicts what the type of person I'm talking about. I'm talking about like illiterate.
Americans.
Yeah. Just like dumb, blind, red
Yeah.
rage.
A steadfast moron.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like put it in a good light. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. I mean, it's kind of like
So
how.
it's kind of their fault.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of it has to do with society, where they were born, how they were raised. Because everybody, I think, has a fair shot when they're born, as long as the environment they're born into is okay. Like the parents, the school, the neighborhood, the kids around you, stuff like that. I think we're all born into. We could pretty much do this. I heard a quote this week that was like, schools are too busy pulling you out of yourself and replacing it with what they want, that they failed to tell you that you were worth something, or you were good at something, or you were talented at something.
Yeah.
They were so worried about pulling everything out of you and replacing it with what they want, that they forgot to tell you that, you are your own person.
Well,
So,
that's what your parents should do.
yeah.
God.
I feel
Parents
like they
want
fell
the
a lot,
schools
too.
to teach you everything, and now it's like, oh, you're also in charge of making the kid feel good about itself.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. So in the process of indoctrinating people to be robots, you don't want to build them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to be like, well, I'm better than this. I'm not doing this.
I can do anything.
Oh, yeah, because if you build them
Yeah.
up, then they're like, fuck those stuff.
You have inherent value. You're meaningful. You're loved. Oh, well, then I'm just not going to do what you want.
Right.
I can see the bullshit here.
That's I don't know, man. And like I said, when we talk about when all that shit does fall down, when the buildings start falling, the world catches on fire. If I am to die, like if I last longer, like a week or two longer than the people that are asshole pieces of shit,
Right?
then I was like, I'm not gonna feel bad about that. Like, of course,
You
if
are
I
better.
yeah, like even if I die with them, knowing I couldn't have survived, well, I don't belong here. I don't deserve to be here anyways. So I'm not mad at that. If something happens and I go with those stupid people, like,
Right?
fuck it, I was supposed to go anyways. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think, after shitting in the woods yesterday, that I can pretty much roll with the punches.
I like that.
you-
Is.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that is. He got home and he said, "I feel like I could survive for a little while if shit hit the fan."
Did you choose it, or was it like forced upon
it
you.
It was
chose
forced
him.
upon. It chose.
For sure.
It did, man.
Chosen by the deuce.
Yeah, dude. That stomach disease, man, doesn't give me the choice anymore. And I'm like mid-walk, dude. I was like, I'm not going to eat anything over there except for like a protein bar. And then like 2 hours in the walk, man, it was coming.
Yeah.
But I'll say, I didn't even hesitate. I'm like,
Oh,
I was like, if I find a porta potty, like, yo, I'll take a shit in it. But I was far from anywhere to
Not
do
even
with
in the
porta
toilet.
potty.
You just like poop on the walls of it.
But it was just like, I guess I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to just shit in the, like right here. And I wasn't far off the path because I couldn't walk up this hill without shitting my pants. So I was like, well, I'm just going to shit right next to the path like a dog.
Yeah.
And if somebody walks by here,
Like a bear. You're a bear.
I'm a bear, not a dog.
That's right.
Small giraffe, maybe. But I was like, I'm just going to look at him and smile at this point. I was like, what do you do? But then I thought,
Sorry.
while I'm taking a shit in the woods, I was like, I think I could probably last a little, as long as like the meteor doesn't hit me personally, like land right on top of me. I think I'd be good.
What?
No,
If you
actual
survive
shit.
that, my God.
That's that bear attitude. Yeah. No meteor's taking me down.
I feel like that. And I guess I have a good teammate though. Like it'd be different if I had somebody that I had to like coddle and pick up and put on my back. But as much as like currently, like she's like, fuck the like I'm not gonna go shit in the woods. I think that she would you know what I mean, would be a good
I'd
backup.
for sure shit in the woods if I needed
Yeah.
to.
I think you would roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And we don't have a kid. That's another like decider if you're
we'd
gonna
kill
live or
it,
die.
so
Did
we wouldn't
you-
have a kid no matter
We're gonna
what.
eat it.
Did you wipe
First
with
night.
leaves?
No, I actually sacrificed a hoodie. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I wiped my ass with the hoodie, wrapped it up in like 3 bags, and I was like, and I threw it away at the gas station.
Was it a company hoodie?
No.
No, luckily not. It was an old one from a like a supply house or some shit.
It was probably
Nice.
filthy. I
Yeah.
imagine he probably would have been better off wiping with leaves. And I just had this thought because that hoodie has been through some things. It's
Yeah.
been sitting in the
It's
car.
seen some stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It wasn't worse than when I like first fucking like kneeled down. This branch was like right in my ass because I was looking for. I didn't want poison ivy to be in my asshole, so I was like, I gotta look around. But it was coming. I was just like, fuck it. And when I went to sit down, I kept feeling something. I looked down and it was just straight twig in my asshole with a little leaf, and I was just like, I pray that that's not fucking poison ivy.
Just one ivy.
Just ivy
in there.
right into the hole. And I do. I mean, what do you do at that point? Do you just kill yourself?
No, you just accept that you're getting poison ivy in your asshole. Yeah.
Can you imagine
Put
having
that
poison
pink
ivy
stuff
in
on your
asshole?
butt. That would
I'd
suck.
shove
Yeah.
a whole bottle in my
I would
asshole.
do
I
that
don't
for
care.
you.
What,
Thank you.
You're
did
welcome.
you still pull out your phone?
No, I almost took a picture of my poop because I was so excited that I shit in the woods.
Yeah.
I almost
One
did
with
it.
nature.
Yes.
No, I didn't, man. It was really cool, but look, I think it just brought to light that I was like, I think I could roll with the punches. I'm not as like savvy as the guy that I was walking with, just because like I mean he was pointing out like mushrooms and leaves and shit. He was like, don't eat this, eat that, the mushrooms, whatever. He's like, you can wipe with these. You know, they were real big leaves that like you would have insects and shit that would hide underneath them. But I mean, really big in the woods and shit. And he was like, you wipe with those, don't wipe with this. This is how you tell if it's oak, ivy, or whatever. And I was like, damn, dude, I need to walk with him more because I'm like, this is where it's at. Like, this is where the rubber meets the road when it happens. Like when the world's ending,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to know these things.
Hell yeah.
Truthfully, I mean,
Baby Bear Grylls.
baby big girl.
Oh, baby bear. I read an article about bears. They have this thing, which I don't have like a whole lot of information about it because it has since left my brain, but they have some kind of thing that's happening to their brain that's causing them to be incredibly friendly, where they have been approaching humans and like, yeah. Yeah, some kind of disease that's just like taking over their brain.
I like
And
that it's a disease. You're not eating these people? What's wrong with you?
Is it a full-on disease, or is it like a parasite? Or is
I couldn't tell you. I wonder if I still have the thing pulled up. I might be able to. But
I'm
yeah,
down
it's
with
making
that,
it
though.
to where they're incredibly friendly and they're trying to tell people like, don't feed these bears. Like, you need to treat it like it's still like a wild bear because we don't know how they respond.
responds after the
Absolutely.
fact.
We don't know when they're going back.
Yeah.
Who knows when they'll get
Right.
over it? That fever breaks, boy.
Yeah, I
That,
thought that
um,
shit was crazy.
I guess if we're talking about the control of people, you know what I mean? I know we weren't just talking about it. But
I
we're
know.
talking
I
about
know
it.
we weren't talking about
No,
it.
I wanted
Let's
to
talk about it.
I want to go back to like
Bring this
the
up.
fact that they we talked about like indoctrination and shit like that, right? If this shows how deep it was, which always baffled me about the story of slavery, American slavery, as far as African Americans enslaved. You have a vast number of African Americans that were brought over, enslaved by white slave owners, right?
Right.
Okay. We're all on agreement of that. You have a large amount of African Americans controlled by a smaller amount of rich white folks or well-off white folks that could own a slave.
Well, there were black slave owners.
Yeah, but the majority white, just like
Okay, I'll
wealthy.
grant you that.
Let's just say that, right?
Yeah, say that.
Let's just say
How
this
many-
is it isn't an argument
many
about
black slave owners?
the
There were at least
slave
three.
owners. This is more an argument about the slaves. So
Yeah.
they come over in a vast amount. It's proof in my eyes. It's proof that African Americans are better athletes than white people, hands down. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Right?
Right.
They can kill us at any sport, even hockey. I guarantee it.
No.
Right? Come on, man.
Everything but hockey.
What?
There
So
are
anyways,
no black hockey players.
What I'm getting
Chris
at
Rock
is
said it, man. He was like, as
just
soon as they
joking.
get a heated rink, we're going to dominate at that too.
even back that far in American history,
Yeah.
right? They had ways of indoctrination, of mind control, of forceful mind control, where they made the slaves believe that they couldn't overpower them. Like, and the slaves would separate themselves or just go with the flow or whatever. And I think it had to do with indoctrination in their ways of
Trapping and whipping.
yeah, well, yeah, but let's face it, enough people come together, right?
Yeah.
And run at the same time and gang up on a smaller majority. So you have a large amount of slaves,
Yeah.
smaller amount of slave owners. The larger amount can always win. And it goes back to the same argument about people who are incarcerated.
Right.
There's a vast number of them compared to the small amount of corrections officers that control them in that system, right? But then, they make them think that, they have like the military on their side and all that, which they
Well,
do.
then they actually do have big fences and like the bars and shit on their side.
Yeah. But if you overpowered them and watched them for enough and enough went in, you could take control of the control tower where they hit all the buttons, open the doors, take the keys, whatever. Yeah, you could do it. I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying they could happen. And it just makes you wonder, like, if that far back in our American history, they were that good at indoctrination, enslaving people, and mind control when it comes down to it, because I feel like the slaves could have definitely overpowered us in a sense. Not us. Whoa, not us.
You said
Them.
it.
Them.
The cat's out of the bag.
I mean, just I think
Adam's
that
an
they could have
immortal
been,
and he had a bunch of slaves.
I think they could have been overpowered 100% and never were until they were until it was whatever
Well,
abolished.
it's kind of like the idea of there was like a Bill Cosby bit. He was doing stand up in Vegas, I think. And he's like, you all know they got a bunch of money in there. There's more of us than there are of them. We can go in and take it. And they're all like, yeah. And he's like, now some of you are going to die in the process of this. And they're like,
Start losing them.
yeah. So when you get the numbers, it's like, hell yeah. But nobody wants to be the first one to die.
To die, yeah. But that's the beautiful thing that you're seeing. Not beautiful for like in retrospect, but in Myanmar. I always say it wrong. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Myanmar.
Myanmar, right? is that their people,
Me and Mark without a K.
their people are going into it like, we're going to die for this
Or
thing
D.
that we believe in. We're not going to be controlled. We'll die for it. And their people are dying by the hundreds. Like, and that's okay with them because they're like, it's for a greater purpose. So I guess you just got to be oppressed enough until it's a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Or
But-
get enough people that agree that it's a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Instead of a bunch of little floofy ass Americans who are like, no, I'm important and only me.
Even if you want to look on the scale of God, you know, all it took was 400 years of the Israelites being enslaved by the Egyptians before he did something about it.
Right.
God's a lazy fuck. Why are people going to be any
He's
different?
like, I'm tired of fucking hearing about this. Like, I'm just letting y'all go.
Hey, just get out.
Yeah.
No,
It's an
man.
infection, a bear infection.
Oh.
That's what I couldn't think of the word infection to save my life. So I was like, disease. Wow.
That's
Sorry, just say that
But
while I had it in my head.
I was just wondering if they were being born that way or if it was something that they
No,
were
it's
gaining.
happening. I mean, I'm sure maybe there has been a case, but no, it's like they're walking around
They've
and
eaten too many honey pots.
I'm infected. Yes, yes, too many honey pots.
What I feel like that would just
Yeah,
have
honey
something to do
infection.
with as far as like climate change and shit is bringing to light like new bacteria, new insects that can live in climates that they couldn't normally live in, infecting different and like just to think like and the ice caps that are melting, releasing ancient pockets of air that could contain any amount of disease that we have no clue about.
Yeah.
It's been under ice for millions of years.
The bears, which are all around 1 year old, appear to be suffering from a form of infectious encephalitis. So the brain's inflamed.
Oh, okay, I got
Yeah.
you. And maybe they're being friendly to people. They're like, "Fucking save me, man!" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
feel
important.
good.
I'm woke. I know I'm a person trapped in a bear body.
the infection gives them sentience. Is
Yeah.
that how you say
Yeah.
it?
Hell
Um,
yes.
Where's my briefcase?
Where's my? I gotta go to work. That's scary to think about though, because if let's say, I mean, bears are very important to the ecosystem, which I think everything is put here is very important, right? If they start dropping like flies, the bees are already in a dangerous position, right? Then the bears drop like flies. Then I mean, man, it's gonna be a domino effect, and it's happening more rapidly than they had predicted.
It's definitely happened real
I think
quick.
that's tied to something, man.
Yeah, they said that in this article they describe it as they're acting more like a dog than a bear. So it's
More
insane.
friendly, more like wanting to be near you, stuff like that. I
Yeah.
guess.
And they said it's they have a lot of like physical things, so like they end up with like a head tilt, which is very specific in my opinion. Like that's
Makes it
super
seem like
weird.
it would make him creepier.
I
like from
know.
a distance. What the fuck? No, get that fucking thing away from me.
Yeah. Been having seizures and just being like real slow and sleepy type. I guess
sleepy bear.
lethargic is the correct word.
Yeah, that's dangerous,
odd.
man. That's odd that something like that's happening. But and that's to say, like, if we would have lived how we're supposed to, which nobody technically knows how that is, but I assume it's without, profit gains and capitalism and fucking each other over in Supreme Courts and, whatever. We're just supposed to live and do for each other
Even
and
penguins
make a
have
better world.
Supreme Courts, though.
I don't think they do.
They don't.
I was sitting there like thinking, I'm like,
But
all
do
right,
you
run this
know-
through your head. What is he talking about?
Do you know
Sometimes I
for
do.
a fact that they don't have a Supreme Court?
No.
While I've never seen one, I cannot confirm that they don't exist.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Exactly.
You're a politician. No, but
Hell
that's
yeah.
if we. The question remains like if we were to live like that, right? Would these things still have occurred on the same timeline? Would like all the global warming, the natural disasters that are to come and have came, like would all these things happen if we were living right by the universe, not by God, not by Christian faith, none of that, but
We're living green.
yeah, living right by the land, like our tribal ancestors, like the people we took the
and,
land from.
environmentally.
Yeah, dude, I think they had it right.
Sorry.
I think the Indians, I don't know if they would have progressed to people that only own casinos and shit. I feel like those things weren't like, they would have never started casinos if it hadn't been for the Americans.
I feel like they also
taking their
sell
land.
weed.
Oh yeah, they definitely. I would too if I was. They probably grow the best weed too because they're one with Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
Maybe.
cannabis whisperers.
Whisper.
No, but
I know
you got,
exactly how many lumens are coming out of the sun right now.
it probably sounds super racist, but it's not. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that I feel like when we came over, that the Indians were more in tune with the universe and the land and how we
Yeah.
were supposed to treat it
I think
and
the
love it.
casino statement's more racist than saying that
Oh,
they're in
yeah,
tune with Earth.
Oh,
But that's
Well,
also factually.
I just say
Yeah.
it's factually, but I feel like that was just
but
a
yeah.
ploy for the Indians to take money from white people
They're
or the
like,
white
whatever
people that
we
came.
gotta do,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
we'll get our
Yeah,
money
we gotta
back.
make money somehow.
Yeah, white people love
You're
casinos.
like, what? You killed all our buffalo. What do you want us to do, you white devil?
You fucking white devil.
We
But
can't rape your daughters anymore. We're gonna rape you at the slots.
that's
Yeah,
right.
pocket raping.
And we're gonna take peyote while we do it. We're gonna real fuck
That
up.
way it's a really great
That
experience.
sounds fun.
It
does
doesn't sound
now,
bad,
dude.
I tell you that.
I'll tell you that.
I wish the government would ruin my life.
Well, give
Haven't
it time. Haven't they?
I think that's like
Oh, they have.
I think
Okay.
we
Okay.
brought it up before, like the favelas, for instance, in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, I was like, that sounds
like their
great.
government gives them just enough to where they won't rise up, and not enough to where they could like prosper and stuff like that. So they give them just enough that they're afraid to say anything or overtake their government, because if so, the small amenities you do have, they're going to take those, and then what are you left with? You're going to probably die and stuff like that. So they're happy with the little they do have and won't fight for more, even though they're being raped by their government. You know what I mean? I think it's the same here, but we have more amenities. We're allowed to do more. But you're just enough to where you're not going to rise up, just enough to where you're going to think you're in control of your life, but you're not.
Right.
Well, I mean, I would
Don't
agree
step
with
out of
that
line.
until Netflix started getting competition. Now you got Hulu and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime and that CBS shit that nobody wants.
What are you talking about, Willis? What, I mean, how does that tie in? Like, so Netflix.
Amenities and choices and comfort
Oh,
and stuff.
gotcha.
I was kidding.
Oh, no, I was just trying to follow the logic. Sorry. It was slow. I was trying to catch up.
It's like, you sons of bitches, you have your stuff, but it's just enough.
Just enough.
But now we have like 6 options.
It's just too much. I think I'd rather have just enough because there are too many fucking options. When it comes to most everything, it takes me forever to do anything. Don't forget about if I'm walking into, like, say, Walmart to get something, I'm in there for at least an hour minimum because there's too much stimuli and I just cannot focus to get to what I need to get to. And then if I'm like buying something online, no, forget about it. It takes me forever. I have to read everything.
I found it works for me if I go into a store, if I'm by myself, obviously, but I don't do this with Casper, but I go in, I'm listening to music in my headphones, and like I have in my phone a list of what I need. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get that. And I just look at it, I get a thing. I look at it again, get another thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to hell.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom used to make fun of the men in the family because a lot of us would, but I don't know if it was just the way that like we were taught or whatever. But when I go in, I don't need to know anything about nothing. I know what the fuck I'm getting. I don't want to look at anything else while I'm here. I don't want to just in case look at something. I want to buy what the fuck I was like thinking in my head. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get the fuck out.
Yeah, get
even
in,
if
get
it's
out.
like a new
Trust
store
me
and
when I
stuff.
say I don't want to look at anything else.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, because you're right. There's far too many options, and there's far too many things that are dedicated in taking your attention away from the thing that you want to buy,
Yeah.
so that you buy extra
I
shit.
feel like that's a dude thing to where we can just go in, get what we need, and
get the
get the
fuck
fuck out. It's like whenever I was growing up, Thoth would always tell me, it was like,
Oh.
Don't go shopping with a woman because she's gonna be over there looking at everything, and you'd be like, "Come on, let me just get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
And you're gonna get upset. And you're gonna wander off, And he's like, "Just
That may
go,
be,
wait until she's done, and then."
Yeah.
It may
So,
be
yeah.
like the analytical mind compared to the, what would you say, the Neanderthal mind, where women are more thoughtful. They're more, they're going to think out the options, the past, the whatever. Where a guy, we're just going to go in like head first, break our neck or live like we're just going to run through this like a bull in a china shop.
Right.
Like, there's obvious differences on both, whether like the society wants to fucking admit it or not. There's obvious differences between men and women, and I think those are one. I think that they had to be probably like,
Yeah.
way back.
There wouldn't be any men left.
Yeah, I feel like we just like go in it, like, you know what I mean. Like, we're not reading shit. We're not gonna do the stuff. We're just gonna go and do.
Yeah, see, I feel like men are more geared towards it's like survival. It's like, okay, here's what I need, and then women come in and they make everything comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they've demonized that not they're not roles, but it's that symbiosis. Is that how you say it? Or
Yeah.
where you
Well,
work together?
Yeah.
What is that?
The
Yeah,
symbiotic relationship. Yep.
Symbiotic relationship of a man and a woman.
that makes
where
it
they
sound
do
a
that.
little dirtier than roles, though.
I know, but it's this
it's
whole
the same
gender role
thing.
thing is an argument when I
Right.
think that they're just words.
Stop trying to put
Yeah.
me in a box.
If you can put it in
Yeah.
the same box as like an insect sucking garbage out of an alligator's teeth, that's
Right.
less insulting.
Yeah, definitely. But that's I feel like mostly. I mean, I'm like you said, I'll stick a screwdriver in a fucking socket to see if it's on or not. I don't have to like read the pamphlet and like look at
Maybe you
the panel stuff.
should.
No, I'm just saying like this is an extreme
Don't act like
thing.
you read pamphlets because
No,
I
no.
read them and tell them how to do it.
I'm just saying like
If you
I
can't
just-
figure it out.
The only reason I do it differently is because I'm an electrician. But let's just say I was a plumber. I'm definitely sticking a screwdriver in a light socket
right.
or something before I
Like I
read.
say, in a pipe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out if it's clogged. Let me just jam
What's
it with a
this?
Jam this
screwdriver.
shit. Give me a hammer. I'm just gonna
You
beat
know,
it up.
I gotta
will
poop
say,
in this before I fix it.
Maybe whenever I go into, before I ever get into specifically like Walmart, I start feeling like there's something else that I need here. And because I don't feel that way anywhere. Like, I don't particularly care for shopping. So, like, if I have to get, like an outfit, I know exactly what I want before I go in. I already have an idea of what the outfit's going to look like. I try on only those things. I buy the shit that fits, that I like how I look in, and I'm out. I can shop for clothes like that because I hate it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, but with like walking into Walmart, I'm like, oh, they have like plastic storage containers and I love them. I could get all of them. I can put so much stuff. Do I need any of these for it? Like, do I need anything to put inside of these? Like, I can't. Like,
I'm gonna buy the containers and the shit to put in them.
yes. That's like how my brain's going before I'm ever inside of Walmart. So, like, maybe I just let myself do that when I go in Walmart, and because I don't have that problem in all stores. Although I do have to
Menards
read.
or something. You
Menards
definitely
is
have a
rough.
problem there.
I've still never been in one.
Menards,
You're
man,
gonna
it's
have
dope
to.
as fuck.
You're gonna have to
Yeah.
for sure, just to do it. I think it sparks like when you walk in a bookstore and you're like, all this information is at my fingertips, and it's like, well, Menards is more like all these fucking projects that I can do with all the stuff in this store.
Yeah. There's a whole half of the store I haven't seen yet, and I can't wait until I don't have anything I have to do or want to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wander in there for hours.
You should. That's
Can't wait.
Wandering is always good, but I think too, men are more apt to make multiple trips, where women would be more apt to make one trip, get it done, and come on. Like I
like,
found
oh,
myself
fuck.
doing that.
I
I was like,
forgot this.
I'm gonna waste all this gas. So I'm gonna do it the hard way, but it's gonna get done. Like you said, we'll just go and fucking do it. And women are well thought out, and they're gonna like, whatever.
They got their list.
Yeah. I don't have that. I don't have it in me. And when she does it, it irritates the fuck out of me. Not because, I look at it as like, this is our role. You're a woman, and of course women are going to shop and do it. Like, I don't look at it like that. I'm just, the way internally I'm built, of course my brain is going to get annoyed at it because This brain wants to just fucking make the first move. I don't want to read nothing. We're going to fucking do it. If I make a mistake, I'll just do 3 other things that, and if those are mistakes, I'll make
Right.
more. Like, and that's not her. But internally, like, it's going to irritate me because that's who I am. I'm just that person where she's not. But it irritates her when I make a move or, you know what I mean? Or I go without knowing all the information. So it's a back and forth.
Put some thought into it, you dumb shit.
Yeah. That's why you got to do it. You know, you got to kind of like lean with
She's
your
like,
partner.
this could have been avoided. And you're like, maybe this wouldn't happen and I could save time by not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can make an argument of, for sure. Because it's your inner being.
And then you're like, I like the challenge of fixing it as I go.
Yeah. I for sure would rather spend the time on the forefront than in the back side of it.
yeah.
Would definitely rather spend, even if it took me hours to like do like
Oh, that
research
would
on
fucking
something.
kill me.
I research everything. I've researched your shit. I can't think of what
Goddamn
it's called.
stuff.
Goddamn
The
shit.
pH
Meters, yeah.
meter. There we go. I researched those because I wanted to know, like, is this going to do what he needs? Or, like, 3 months from now, are we going to have to buy another one? Because that's fucking stupid to me. I don't want to buy another one. I want to buy this one. And when it breaks, we'll buy a new one. I don't want to have to buy another one because it doesn't do everything that I need it to do. Like, that's dumb.
But
But that's just
I think, too,
me.
though,
Some
that
people don't care.
that in this world we're so fucking like the pushback on, like, let's not say roles anymore, but we'll say this symbiotic relationship that a man and a woman have, or for that matter, if you're wired just like a woman to woman or woman to, like, gender neutral, pansexual, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, I'm okay with not putting roles on things, right? But then let's not give things a name then at that point, right? Let's don't give this a heterosexual name or a homosexual name or pansexual name. Like, none of that, right? Because you're giving yourself a role at this point.
Yeah.
And you're giving it a bad name when you fucking, like, yell at people when they don't fucking call you a certain thing. That's what I'm getting at. This isn't a role. Whoever you choose to be with, if I chose to be with you, that's a symbiotic relationship. Because I know that you were attractive at one point, right? You were attractive to me for what reasons? For your looks, for the way you handled situations. For I felt
For
safe.
how you went
felt
shopping.
You were a provider, whatever. Like the things that get us, whatever this it's called.
On somebody's nuts.
Yeah. What is the things that play in our mind? They're from an archaic time. They stick with us, like, the want to survive and shit like that. That's a
I know. I can't think of
whatever the word for it. Somebody's gonna think of it, but it's things that have
Survival.
stuck with instinct.
Instinct. There we go.
It's one of our instincts that come from a very long line of.
I was thinking survival desire, but I couldn't get instinct.
See, look.
I was like, I know another way of saying it, but I don't know how to say it.
But that symbiotic relationship between you and the person that you are attracted to in the sense of love or whatever, that's just all it is. It's what it comes down to. And when it comes to us, I don't view it as a role and you're the woman and you got to do this and I'm the man and we got to do this. Like, we better get this shit together.
I mean, it could just be the role of the shopper and
the
the not the shopper.
Right.
And that'd be weird.
Right. But I think we base it so much
call
on
my
the
man
other
weird.
thing that some people just
He's
can't.
not weird. He's being weird.
Some people just can't move through life without somebody getting their prefix right or their suffix, whatever it's called.
Well, it depends if it's before or after.
Yeah. I don't know.
We
It's
should
just so
start
weird,
having
man.
like weird gender like suffixes.
I thought we do. Like, you have like Z, Y. What are all those?
Those just pronouns.
Pronoun. That's the word I was looking for then. My fault.
No,
My
that's cool.
fault. People don't.
I want to throw a wrench in the system. Let's fuck it up more.
Ooh, I crossed
So-
the line. No,
Let's make stupid stupider.
Yeah. So, what do you want it? What'd you say? What do you want it to have? Sorry, I missed it. I don't know.
a suffix.
Yeah,
or-
like
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because like the prefix,
Thank you.
it'd be like Mr. or Mrs. But if we have like the last, like the suffix or whatever, then I don't know what I want it to be. I'm gonna need time to think about that.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
No.
Nope.
Well, that's what I want mine to be, and you can't tell me it's not.
Well, I think that's stupid.
Sarah Ashby Godzilla.
Dude, come on. Tell me that's not awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I mean,
Yeah.
better
I like
things out
it.
there.
The new Godzilla movie made $60 million at the box office.
Jesus.
How much did it cost to make it?
I don't know.
Probably not much.
$2 billion.
Yeah. Probably not much because they did it all on a computer somewhere at this point.
I can't remember her name. Her
Okay.
rap name is Bad Baby. She was the girl that was on
Oh,
Dr.
yeah,
Phil.
that fucking
bitch
bitch.
made
God.
$1 million on her
Yeah.
OnlyFans in 6 hours.
Yeah.
She just got. That's awesome.
And then there are
I
people
love
that are
her.
they're mad about it, not because like they're like,
Oh, because she's 18.
They're like, oh, you waited until you were 18, and now I'm pissed. Say what?
You just can't make some people happy. Ooh, get that bitch out of here. Don't kill him.
I was
No,
talking
no.
some shit on
Thank you.
on Twitter. So he was mad about waiting until she was 18. I was like, back in my day, we didn't have to wait until they were 18.
It's so terrible.
Yeah, dude.
It makes me very excited though. Like there's always gonna be people that I was getting ready to point. Like there's always people that have something to say about everything. So.
See, I've started to. I mean, it's always been like objectively obvious that like whenever we see news stories about people getting all up in arms on Twitter about things and stuff, it's just like 20 people
Yeah.
on some shitty corner of Twitter
Yeah.
getting bummed out, and then because it makes the news, we're like, oh man, everybody's an idiot.
Everyone.
But it's like a handful of fucktards.
I think the real issue then is why are they talking about what 20 people give a fuck about?
Because it's the only shit that people care about in the news. Because the
so
actual realistic news bores people to death.
Yeah.
Unless you can make it like inflammatory or like a way to be angry with somebody directly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Want nothing to
definitely.
do with it.
I feel like if politicians were like required by law to have a social media presence, then a lot of that stuff would be taken care of.
Oh yeah.
'Cause people would then just they'd be a lot more politically active.
Hell
They
yes.
say, I'm not going to
Oh,
say anything
yeah.
in the streets, but
I got
on
you.
fucking Twitter, I got you, bitch.
Yeah, man.
Got you.
Did you guys see Ted Cruz, though?
Oh no.
Oh, no, it's actually kind of cool.
Oh okay. Cool.
It's like he was doing like a press conference or whatever, and he was on video, and like everybody that was on stage with him had been vaccinated, and he wasn't wearing a mask, and there were people like down the thing. And they're like, "Oh, you put a mask on?" He's like, "I'm not gonna put a mask on. This is being videoed."
Ooh.
He's like, "I've been vaccinated. All these people have been vaccinated. If you're worried about it, step back."
Yeah. Hell yes. That's awesome.
So I was like, "All right, the guy's a jackass, but I like that
Yeah,
moment."
I like that too.
That the vaccine, the company AstraZeneca, AstraZeneca, one of the
trust
vaccine
them.
companies, they said it was rare cases, which I want to know the definition of rare cases to them, and how many people got it, how many people didn't.
Less than
But-
60%.
I hope. Apparently, it's causing their vaccination is causing blood clots, which you
yeah.
would think that if there's three companies with vaccinations, so you're telling me there's three different vaccinations are three very, 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 very similar vaccinations. Which one is it? Because if there's three different, those aren't good odds, bro. You got to roll the dice on three of them. One of them's causing blood clots. You don't know what the other two are going to cause. They could give you all cancer, but you're all jacked to give. My grandpa showed me one, he was giving me a high five. Look at my car. I'm like, cool, bro. But if you die in the next, year because you got some weird disease from their vaccination, I'm just saying, I know it has to be tested, but I just don't think the trials are long enough as far as science goes. And by, right? I mean, there's more testing that needed to be
I don't
done
know.
for sure.
I haven't actually looked into it that much for real.
Then we
in
probably
terms
shouldn't
of-
talk about it. Then.
I mean, I think I
That never stopped us before.
know. I am under the impression that the trial lasted as long as a normal trial lasts. They
Yeah.
just kind of did them in tandem, instead of this one's over, this one's over. But I don't actually know.
Yeah, they didn't last as long as they should have. That's why the vaccines didn't get the official FDA like stamp. It was like, we'll allow it for emergency circumstances, but
Okay.
we don't want our name on
like-
that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want it to come back on them if I won't say when, because I'm not that kind of guy, but if the shit hits the fan, I wouldn't want my name on it either. But Pfizer and AstraZeneca, I mean, they're taking the risk of putting it out there, but you never made money without a risk. So they're like, if we fucking nail this, guys, profit gains. Yeah. They don't give a shit about
it's
you.
my understanding that there's Pfizer and then there's Moderna and there's Johnson and Johnson. I don't know what this AstraZeneca shit
I
is.
think they were
but
with
I think
Pfizer. I think they were
Yeah?
like a
Yeah.
couple.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I know
believe.
that I think there are 3 states that have shut down vaccination sites relating to the Johnson and Johnson one for like
Really?
yeah.
It's
side effects.
AstraZeneca, my fault.
okay.
Not Jenica.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know them.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't.
I was just saying, change one letter, bro. You should have known them before you
no.
asked.
It's like when you're typing in your phone and you're trying to get a word and it's like it's one letter off from a common word and it won't
get
help
it.
you.
I
Ah,
have no
fucking hate
fucking
it.
clue what you're trying to say. Do you mean elephant?
Auto direct is a word.
Oh, so Canada on Monday suspended the use of Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine for people under 55 following concerns it might be linked to rare blood clot. So the blood clotting is rare. The vaccine, it's not so rare that it'll clog your blood. It's just the type of clogging is rare. Is that what we're saying? Like, because they worded it like it's rare cases that have blood clots, but this worded it, it's a rare blood clotting issue.
Do we not know how to fix blood clots yet?
Well, if it,
Yeah, but if it throws, you're fucked.
you're fucked.
You have to get it while it's like there, and because it can like travel to places it's not supposed to go.
You can have a fucking heart attack. You can have a what is it? Stroke.
Pulmonary
like immediately.
embolism?
Yeah, dude.
That's what that is actually, is a blood clot that gets into your lungs. And
But think about that. Like you give yourself that. You just gave that to probably millions, right? And like everybody's just walking around with this fucking thing that's definitely clotting their blood, just rarely. Like it's a
Rarely.
rare type, which just tells me that you have a better chance of fucking getting a stroke from it. Like if it's that rare, then it must be the shit. It's like that, ALS was pretty fucking rare, and then when it took old lady down in less than a year.
She's an old lady.
Well, she wasn't
I
that
don't know
old
who we're
when she
talking
died.
about. And I don't know what ALS is.
Oh, Lou Gehrig's
oh,
disease.
Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
Okay, without calling it Lou Gehrig's disease, I got nothing.
Oh fuck yeah! I don't know, man. I just heard that, and apparently it's blown up. But it just makes you wonder, like, okay, well, at least they came out and said it, because so many people were getting blood clots from it, right? But what about the other two? Let's face it, like, there's probably some underlying shit going on there too. They just haven't caught it yet. I mean, give it time. But I haven't got a flu vaccine in a while either, so I'm just not one of those guys like, fuck it, if I get it, I'm gonna die. I don't know what, I'm not too fucked up about it.
Or you got a 99 point whatever % chance of not dying.
Not dying, I know. That's the thing. I think we're so concerned about not dying that it's like we freak out at every little fucking thing that happens. It's like, well, if you die, you die. I mean,
I think though
what are you gonna do about it?
part of the which I mean, you don't have to be worried about it. I'm not technically worried about it. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I don't want it, but having like other things increases your chances of dying from it. Well, I have asthma. I could absolutely die from it.
Right.
You've got some other stuff that, yes, it doesn't impact your lungs, but in terms of your immune system, you're absolutely like more
Right.
at risk than someone who's, just 100% healthy.
You
Like,
guys should probably get out back, start eating some dirt.
Dude.
oh, I eat shit off the ground. You don't have to worry about that.
I told her I've been like ever since I've been little, and so even first started the trade, I'll work and then my hands will be fucking dirty and I'll eat my lunch, go back to work. I mean, I'm not like the most cleanly in that sense, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't fucking have to do all that. So I was like, well, I think my immune system pretty like squared off as far as like US shit goes, right?
Yeah.
It's like Steve-O saying that he was like, I think I'm good for whatever comes our way, because he shoved so much stuff up his ass. He's traveled his whole life to countries that I've never even heard of. And he's like, I've drank all their water. I drink bong water for a living. Like, he's like, I'm good. I think coronavirus has nothing on my immune system.
If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
That's right. No, man.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Everybody
I want to
good?
talk about Atlantis right quick. What do
Atlantis.
you guys know about it?
The
Like
Lost
the
City?
Yeah, not the water park. No.
I don't
Do you
know.
accept it as like a real place, or is it like
At one time?
a figurative place?
Ooh, fuck.
You
That's
know-
a good question.
Because I mean, there's been the talk of like Plato or whatever mentioned it from time to time.
I would say it
Like
was a real
Socrates,
place.
probably.
I've always felt that it was a real place. But
Well, and I've not really ever read about Atlantis, but I always assumed that it was a real place that just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
kind of like the palm trees
Right.
in Egypt. You know?
Well, it's like Thoth. You know, he was an Atlantean, and then that shit sank, and then he went off to Egypt and did his thing there. So I mean, that just leads me to believe that it would be around Egypt. Otherwise, I mean, why the hell would he travel so far?
Right. It doesn't seem like something that would be simple at that time.
But I mean, he was an alien,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
So it would be way easier.
yeah.
He
Was
could go
was his
anywhere.
mother? Oh shit! What is the? Do you know who his mother was?
I don't know anything about her.
I thought it was. What's the fucking group that we're so scared of right now? Terrorist group?
Reptilians?
No, the terrorist group. ISIS.
Oh, okay.
ISIS was a goddess, and it's a
saying
planet.
My answer.
I think ISIS was a dude's mother. I don't fucking know.
I feel like I could be wrong, but I think Isis was Horus's mom.
I'll look it up. But
Don't
go
quote
ahead.
me on that shit,
No,
boy.
Matt. What do you think? But I thought it was always a real place. Kind of back when the Anunnaki were on this planet and shit. We're talking like ancient city, like
Yeah.
beginning of
Old
the
ass
planet.
shit.
Yeah, like we've already had 4 rises and falls since then. So I feel like we're not gonna if we find proof, we're not gonna know it's proof of that, right? And it
Right.
could be in the bottom of what's the trench? The Marianic Trench.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's it.
Oh, give me some good. But the trench, it's probably at the bottom of that where we've never been. Like, get the fuck out of here. But, think about it. It's probably all gone.
It's just annoying because, he talks about the halls of Amenti, and oh god, I'm not even gonna get into that. But that's exciting shit. But they're physically below Atlantis.
Oh,
Yeah. So I want to get into that shit.
fuck yeah.
Oh, here we go. Isis was the daughter of the earth god Geb, Geb, and the sky goddess Nut, and the sister of the deities Osiris, Seth, and
they live in the
Nephthys-
Appalachian?
Nephthys. She was also wife to Osiris, god of the underworld, and bore him a son, Horus. You
Yeah.
are correct. Good one, man.
Look at
Thank
you.
You pulled that one out of your ass, but I like
Straight
that.
out of it.
I like it, man.
On that
It's good.
Steve-O stuff.
I was wondering, that there's a lot of and people just credit like that as far as like an ideological like a mythological thing, just like the Greek goddesses and shit like that. They kind of group them with that, but it's not the case because there's actually been like written proof. Well, I guess there's like written proof about the Greek goddesses and shit too. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like a lot of the Greek and Egyptian stuff just kind of runs like parallel to each other.
So it could be kind of
'Cause, I
talking
mean,
the same thing, or
Thoth is like Egyptian shit, but then Hermes, I think he was Greek, yeah.
I think so.
But they're accepted as the same person because it's like
Oh, okay.
Hermes, the thrice born or whatnot.
yeah.
So
So
You
kind of the same story, different book.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the connections there because I was bringing up all the Egyptian stuff to Jim Ray, and then he brought up the Egyptian plagues like of the Bible and shit, and then I was like, all right, cool. So the Egyptian gods were just aliens that had more knowledge than we do, and then God got all pissed at him and was like, but then that doesn't matter because the most important thing is that Thoth, like he built the Giza pyramids or whatnot, and he said in the Emerald Tablets says below, like a lion statue, which I assume is the Sphinx,
I would
is
hope.
he has a ship that we will need whenever an enemy or something arises from the depths of the ocean. So he's saying, like, shit's coming from the ocean. We're
Hell
going to have
yeah.
to use his UFO that's below the Sphinx to take him out.
Well, they've
I'm
done
like, this is exciting
Hell
shit.
yes, it is.
they've done ultrasonic imaging
Yeah.
below the Sphinx, and there is a cavern, an empty. Well, it's not empty. They don't know what's in it because you can't search anything in Egypt anymore or research them
Right.
or whatever. But there's an empty cavern below the Sphinx. They know it's there, but they just can't. They can't go looking or digging. You can't do any archaeological shit there
Which
anymore.
is annoying.
It is very annoying, man. I think there's so much more to find, but then again,
Dude.
they might know that it needs to be at rest right now.
I think people just don't know what the hell they're looking for.
Yeah.
Also, funding is a thing. And then people in positions of power, they could have knowledge of these things, and they're like, no. We don't want competition.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, that's our shit, not your shit.
Yeah. You're not for this.
But I don't know, man. That's I do like the versions of that. I mean, those are stories just like the Bible. It was written in tablets. It's written on pages. It's the information's there. Nobody can disprove it or prove it, right? So it's just as true as the Bible is, right? So I mean, for those who speak faith and truth into the Christian faith, can't discredit these others just because you believe in one. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I think bothers me the most about it. Is yours is also a mythological thing. Like, there's no proof of it. There's also no like definitive what is it? Disproof, right? But there's no proof as well. Same with that. Same with the Book of Enoch. Same with you fucking name it. Like, all these things we can't prove indefinitely.
It's here. If you believe it, you believe it. If
Yeah.
not, well, it's there.
It's fucking there. Faith.
I think in some of the Egyptian shit, like there were hieroglyphics, and there's one that looks obviously like a helicopter that we have nowadays, and there's one that looks just like a plane that we have nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh
what the
yeah,
fuck, man?
that's everybody. I mean, that's a huge question over everybody's mind, because they also have like depictions of UFOs or that are what we clearly see as UFOs.
What we would accept as UFOs.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff, man, it's baffling. But the sad thing is, I want to be a fly on the wall in those times. You know what I mean? If we could just travel in a certain sense or be in that area, that space of energy, just to see it going on around us. How fucking amazing would it be to be there when they were building the pyramids, or when all this shit was going on, or if they were powered, generating units, like to see that fucking happening, or even that park that was taken over by the wilderness, the something Island that I showed you yesterday, Rose Island in Indiana. And they just left this park because after the Great Depression, they couldn't repair it. So they just let nature reclaim it, right? And I was like standing at the edge of this pool that used to be there in the middle of this amusement park, and I was like, just how amazing would it be to stand here in one spot, rewind all the way back to that time and push play and just watch the people walk around you, and the park is thriving, and it just the beauty, and like it would just be crazy to fucking do that. I don't know. I did read this thing about our version of Satan. When you talk to like Christians, like Satan or the devil, right, are two things. It's either an actual person or like an actual being, right, or it's figurative, like it's just a depiction of evil. Like everything that's evil is the devil, right? Yeah. It's not an actual human or whatever. But those are two types of people in the Christian faith. But when it comes down to it, the original the first mention of Satan was actually in old Hebrew text, and all it was the translation was the accuser. So it was like a job position. Satan was the accuser. So if you were in court, the accuser would be Satan at the time, right? And then throughout time,
That could be fun.
throughout time they used Satan as the accuser in the Bible, and then it just progressed and grew to what it is today. And you know, the guy, the red guy with the horns and pitchfork, like just reading the story, I was like, this is crazy. But look it up, man. It like just read up on just the origin of Satan, like the word, the being, whatever. It's just baffling how it progresses. So why can't we accept that the whole story progressed to what it is today, and it is probably not even
because there are
half
people
true.
that have something to lose from that. They're like, but my story is right. If we have this, then it's not.
No, my whole life's a lie. Like, I'm
It's
a
a
Christian.
lie.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just baffling. But you ready to eat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. That was episode 102. I said that at the beginning, right?
102.
I think, I don't know. It's been a while.
Uh-oh.
So, I don't
Is
know.
Sarah getting tired over there?
I'm hungry as fuck.
Here we are, 3
hungry or
hours
hungry?
in.
Hungry.
Hungry. Cool.
Oh,
you say?
hungry. Here we are, 3 hours in. Oh, hungry as Eve.
Yes.
Dope, man. I think we are going to go stuff our faces.
I'm gonna eat a moderate amount.
If you made it this far, we really
You'll
appreciate
eat
you.
as
Thank you,
much as
Sarah,
I
for
say.
for taking notes on
Yeah.
everything. We'll put that in the comments. So if anybody wants to read what the episode's about before the episode begins, it's in the comments.
Yeah.
So just look at the comment, or
Just
not the
fuck
comments.
off. What are you doing
the
that's so
whatever.
goddamn important where you can't listen?
Yeah.
Put it on while you fold laundry for your
That's right.
husband.
Like, share, comment, and like I said, if you made it this far, we greatly appreciate it. Hit the notification. Even give us a thumbs down for sure. If you didn't like it, let us know.
accept that, yeah.
Let a motherfucker know. I was gonna say I'm Ian. This is Ian.
You're Ian,
That's
I'm
Sarah. And I'm Adam. Thank
No,
you for
that
listening to
makes me
episode
Adam.
102.
Sarah's Adam. Sarah's Adam.
Wildly uninteresting podcast.
Wild.